Noise calculations with respect to thermal noise. Let us say I have two conductors. I represented these two conductors here. One is red color and second one is the violet color. If there exists a current carrying conductor, definitely there will be a noise voltage which is generated there. At the same time, you represented the conductor with a resistance in series with a noise voltage represented with En equal to root over 4kTBr, where R is the noise resistance of the conductor. So therefore I can represent it with Rn, therefore it is Rn. Let us say this is the second conductor, this is Rn2, here is also Rn2. Similarly, the mean square noise voltage which is generated is En. Let's represent it as En2. For the first conductor also, you can represent that with a resistance in series with a noise voltage source, En1 equal to root over 4kTBRn, where Rn is the noise resistance of the first conductor. Let's put it as Rn1. If these two conductors are connected in series, what is the resultant noise resistance and what is the resultant noise voltage? You can observe here, since both are in series in circuit level, I can write Rn resultant equal to Rn1 plus Rn2. This is the resultant noise resistance of these two conductors. Similarly, I can write resultant mean square value En square equal to En1 square plus En2 square. Therefore, En equal to root over En1 square plus En2 square. Instead of two conductors, if I connect n conductors in series, then the resultant would be something like this. The resultant noise resistance Rn equal to Rn1 plus Rn2 plus Rn3 and so on. And the resultant mean square noise voltage source is represented as En equal to En1 square plus En2 square plus En3 square, so on. Let us say these two conductors are connected in parallel connection. Following diagram represents two conductors which are connected in parallel. If you have a parallel connection, definitely you are going to use Norton's equivalent circuit. Therefore, the resultant circuit would be a current source in shunt with a conductance. Similarly, for the second conductor, a current source in shunt with a conductance. The value of noise current source in the first case is In1 square equal to 4kTBG1, where G1 is shunt noise conductance. Similarly, for the second circuit, In2 square equal to 4kTBG2, where G2 is shunt conductance. And these two are connected in parallel. In such a scenario, the resultant conductance G equivalent is given by summation of G1 and G2. Similarly, the resultant current In square equal to summation of In1 square plus In2 square. In the same pattern, if you try to connect n number of conductances in parallel, then the resultant conductance Gn equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3 plus so on. The resultant noise current source is equal to In, which is root over In1 square plus In2 square plus In3 square, so on. This is how you have to find out the resultant noise current or resultant noise voltage when the conductors are in series connection and parallel connection respectively. White noise or Gaussian noise. White noise is a noise whose power spectral density is constant throughout the frequency spectrum. If my x-axis is frequency spectrum and y-axis is power spectral density is represented with Sn of f. If power spectral density is constant throughout the frequency spectrum, which means the noise generated at every point on the frequency spectrum is constant. Such a noise, we define it as white noise, whose value is equal to NO by 2. Sn of f equal to NO by 2, where NO is K into T equivalent. K is Boltzmann constant and TE means equivalent noise temperature of the system. We already discussed about equivalent noise temperature, which is equal to F minus 1 into TO. Since the probability density function of this white noise has a shape of Gaussian noise curve, this white noise is also called Gaussian noise. The best example for white noise is thermal noise. And you already know the thermal noise is present at all temperatures and at all frequencies. That's why thermal noise is one of the example of white noise or Gaussian noise. Noise bandwidth. In the previous topics, we have seen a parameter called B, and we defined that B as noise bandwidth of the system. Let us see what is this noise bandwidth. I have a filter that I am using in my communication system whose frequency response is as shown in the figure. So my x-axis is frequency and y-axis is h of f, or else call it as g of f, gain with respect to frequency. Let us suppose this is the first stage of your receiver, which is a low noise amplifier. So what is the work of the amplifier? Whatever the signal which is grabbed by the antenna, the amplifier has to amplify it. If the dotted line represents a 3 dB point, then I can say this is the lower cutoff frequency and this is the upper cutoff frequency of the filter. Let us say antenna is generating a noise which is available here. Similarly, the antenna is generating a noise whose frequency is somewhere here. This filter will only accept the noise which is in between these two frequencies, and it will reject the noise which is not in the bandwidth of the filter. Am I right? That means these two frequencies will be rejected by the filter itself. Since this filter allowing the noise components in between these two frequencies, this bandwidth we call it as noise bandwidth, and it is represented with B suffix n. Now you can ask me how this noise bandwidth is different from bandwidth of the filter. Now, as I said, this is minus 3 dB point. Sometimes even the noise which is less than minus 10 dB also will affect our system. So let us say this is minus 10 dB. That means if you take minus 10 dB bandwidth, then the corresponding lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency are these two. Now this is considered as noise bandwidth. For a gain of an amplifier or else a filter, generally we consider minus 3 dB point. But the noise bandwidth is defined depending upon the system you are going to design. If you don't want noise below minus 10 dB, then minus 10 dB points considered as noise bandwidth. If you want to consider the noise up to minus 20 dB, then The noise bandwidth of the system is from this point to this point. So this is noise bandwidth now. As a simple note, noise bandwidth is just like bandwidth of the amplifier or filter by considering up to which level of margin you are going to consider the noise. And you can see in this graph, as the bandwidth increases, noise level also increases. Let us say it is a filter. As the filter bandwidth increases, noise level also increases, because we know the formula for noise, that is En equal to root over 4 kTBR, where B refers noise bandwidth. That is the reason in communication systems, if you can maintain a less bandwidth for the system, the noise generated in the system is also low. Let's take an example of double sideband suppressed carrier wave and single sideband suppressed carrier wave. The noise in double sideband suppressed carrier is more when compared to single sideband suppressed carrier wave. The reason behind that is the bandwidth of occupancy of double sideband suppressed carrier is 2 FM, whereas the bandwidth of occupancy of single sideband suppressed carrier is only FM. Therefore, in order to receive these signals, if you design a receiver for a single sideband suppressed carrier wave, the receiver bandwidth is just FM. Whereas for a double sideband suppressed carrier wave, the bandwidth of the receiver must be 2 FM. So if the bandwidth is more in double sideband suppressed carrier wave, definitely the noise is also more. In communication systems, we always require low bandwidth and more efficiency. Equivalent noise resistance. In this concept, we shall see how an amplifier with noise can be divided into two individual parts, a noiseless amplifier system and an equivalent noise circuit. You know that for every amplifier there exists an input resistance Ri, to which a voltage source is connected whose value is Es, and Rs is the source resistance. The actual input for this amplifier is one which is in the left side of this dotted line. The input signal that I am going to amplify is Es, but this complete Es is not delivered to the amplifier because of the input resistance of this amplifier. As a result, the net signal which is reaching this amplifier input part is, let us say, Vn square. I will divide this amplifier with noise into two parts. One is amplifier and the other is the noise part. I can call it as noiseless amplifier. We know how to represent a noise. A noise can be represented as a resistance with a noise voltage source. Resistance is noise resistance Rn. Noise voltage source means V noise square equal to 4 kTBRn. So this is the Thevenin's equivalent for noise source. Now I will draw the remaining circuit. Let us say you disconnected the source. That means I am disconnecting this part. If I disconnect the source, the current which is developed in this equivalent noise source will flow in both Rn as well as Ri. And the voltage which is at the input of the noiseless amplifier is, let us say, Vn square. Now here I can write Vn square equal to, in the previous case it is 4 kTBRn, but in this case the Rn has to be replaced with Rn plus Ri, because this current will flow in both the resistances. Therefore Vn square equal to 4 kTBRn. Instead of Rn, now I will replace it with Rn plus Ri, where this Ri is input resistance of the noiseless amplifier, whereas this Rn is noise resistance which is available in the amplifier. This Rn is imaginary, which is not physically available in the amplifier, but due to the effect of noise, it comes into the picture in the circuit diagram only.